Welcome to the Futurist Foster Podcast, powered by Raise a Child. I'm your host, Nancy Mogi. I was adopted at 17, and I'm ready to talk all things foster and adoption. Someone has to.
Stop feeling like you're wrong. Stop feeling like you're ashamed. There's nothing wrong with being a foster youth. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not alone.
No one should ever dim someone else's light.
When you hold confidence, you hold everything.
Were there people around you in your life that were kind of against you doing a gender transition?
Bad family.
We're getting deep.
She's gonna make me cry.
Oh no. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Futurist Foster Podcast. My name is Nancy Mogi. I am your host. I am a former foster youth here to share all the stories within the foster to adoption system. And that is not something I can do alone because no path, no human is the same. We are all unique in our own ways. And through my path, I've been able to meet some very inspiring, just dynamic people. So joining me today is the beautiful, the one-of-a-kind Arius Davis. Say hello.
Hello, thank you so much.
Hello, hello. Thank you for that. I love the hair flip. Really star quality for sure. So I met you. It was the month we were both graduating high school back in like 2017, I think. And basically only 50% of kids in the foster system will be able to finish high school. And it is a privilege to be able to finish high school that we don't all, get to realize. And so they had a big event for LA County at the Walt Disney Concert Hall. And they just stuck a bunch of foster kids together and was like mingle. And I was very nervous. I didn't know anyone. And I remember I was walking around and I saw you like sitting down. And I loved your energy and your vibe. And you were so welcoming, like, yeah, come sit here, and we talked and you were so inspiring and just so nice and made me feel so welcome to be there when I felt so alone and I didn't know anyone. So thank you for making me feel welcome. I hope you feel welcome on this podcast.
Thank you for making me feel like comfortable.
All day, every day, anytime. I love your confidence. Can I just say I've been interviewing a lot of people and you have so much confidence. A lot of people think that foster kids will be very soft-spoken, not have confidence, not be able to stick up for themselves, but that has not been your case. You've always known that if you want something, you're going to make it happen and you know who you are. When did you know growing up who you were? Did you ever feel, different because you were born in a male body, but you had the soul and spirit of what you felt is a woman's body?
I never felt that I was born in a male body.
You knew it. You grew up, you knew it.
I knew. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I wanted to become more. Mm-hmm. I knew growing up that I was who I was when I went into college.
And you didn't have the easiest start out in life. When did you go into the foster system?
At about maybe 16, 17.
So like you're in the middle of your teen years, you're figuring that out. Was your parents ever around?
No.
I think that can be really hard for people when they don't have a family that supports them or a family that shows them that they can be whoever they want to be. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of foster youth and even teenagers that they feel like they have a different sexual orientation and they're ostracized in society. Society wants to pick on them. And when talking with you before the episode, I was asking you like, oh, was it just super hard and like all this stuff? And you're like, yeah, but like, I didn't let it bother me. How were you able to have that thick skin of just not letting things get to you?
It's about the idea of just like understanding who you are.
That's a big thing.
I'm not gonna let this affect me in any way. Mm-hmm. So
you didn't let it affect you. Proceed. Thank you. Next, literally, when you
Ariana Grande.
Thank you. Sponsor us, Ariana. If you care about foster kids, Ariana. But specifically, when I met you, we were at the end of our high school years, about to go into college. But you were at the beginning of your transition. While some people may have been supportive of that, some people view that as a negative thing. Were there people around you in your life that were kind of against you doing a gender transition?
Bad family.
Your foster family?
Mm-hmm. My father didn't accept me. That generation just doesn't want to accept.
Mm-hmm.
they're stuck in their ways.
Yeah. And I remember asking you, like, did everyone accept you? And you were like, no, but I made them accept me.
When you hold confidence, it's a different thing. When you hold confidence, you hold everything.
You don't believe in that victimhood mentality. You don't have time for that victimhood mentality.
No. I think that calling yourself a foster youth is not a defect. It's nothing wrong with being a foster youth. I mean, leave it alone. I think that it's a superpower.
Yeah.
You have to be strong.
Yeah, you do. You're standing here and you are strong and you are confident, but I don't want people to think that you just had it super easy. You didn't. You had to overcome. You had to build that strength and armor. Could you break it down for me a little bit of any moments where you doubted yourself and how you got out of it?
I doubted myself when I found out that my foster family wasn't the one that I wanted. You will think that, okay, I'm going to go to a foster family and I'm so happy.
But it wasn't the right
case
home.
for me. That wasn't the case for me. But the foster family that I did have was encouraging.
That's beautiful.
Created who I was.
Do you think by them second guessing certain elements of your identity just made you want to become it even more and really unleash your full self?
Just being a child in general, I think that you second guess a lot of things. And I think that second guessing a lot of things can make you second guess yourself.
Definitely.
Maybe sometimes you should stop second guessing yourself.
Just go for it. Just accept it.
I transitioned in my college years. I think that helped me because I can do what I want to do.
Versus when you're in someone else's foster home, in the system.
Absolutely.
You had your wings and you're ready to fly. You knew it. That's beautiful. And what advice do you have for people out there, whether it's someone transitioning, someone in the LGBTQ community, or just someone with any gender orientation that feels like they're not being accepted by the people they love?
Stop feeling like you're wrong. Stop feeling like you're ashamed. What you're doing is okay.
That's beautiful. That really is beautiful.
And stop feeling like there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you.
That's it. Stop feeling like you're wrong.
Yeah.
Working on yourself is important. How has therapy helped you in your journey of life?
I've been in therapy for maybe 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah. Being a foster youth, I think that we have a lot of trauma. You have trauma, I have trauma. But I think that going through therapy, you realize,
we all have our own baggage.
And I think that sometimes we have to realize that before it becomes an issue.
Specifically with the trauma, do you think you have had maybe a worse experience in the system because you are an African-American trans woman?
Being an African-American trans woman, I think it's tricky. Because of the fact that, and this is something that I wanted to touch on, I think that it's the Black community that's fighting against
each other.
Right. So being a trans woman, I think that things get a little tricky.
Definitely. And there's already a decreased rate of foster placements that people are willing to accept. One, if it is a child of color, they are less likely to be fostered or adopted or put into a specific home. On top of it, if it is a child or teenager that identifies with the LGBTQ community, even a foster parent that identifies with being gay, it is harder for them to get placements. And I think it's so important, specifically for this podcast and just for all of us, to just share that, this is your identity, this is your orientation, this is what you want to do, this is what you are, this is how you feel. I should not do anything with my life to make you feel bad about that. No one should ever dim someone else's light.
I think that what everybody should understand is that, I'm a part of your community. And don't don't isolate me. It's gonna make me cry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
We can pause. You're allowed to cry. You could cry.
It's okay.
It is okay. And that is beautiful. No, it's beautiful. Please keep sharing. Thank you for getting vulnerable. We're getting deep.
Okay, let's break down what it is.
Okay.
You don't have anybody who supports you. You don't have anybody who loves you in a way, in some circumstances.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Right? And you don't have anybody who cares for you.
And that hurts. That's hard.
That's
It's really hard. It is okay.
Being alone will make you feel like nobody else is around you.
Till you find them, the right people.
Some people don't find them.
True. That's a really good point.
And I've had a very good experience. But it wasn't what I wanted.
But it was what you needed to become who you are. Do you think you'd be as strong-willed and confident and a force of love to everyone to not feel alone and empowered if you didn't have those moments where you felt alone?
I think that what I took from those experiences was beneficial. I think that I love my foster family and I love what they did for me because they created who I am.
And you still talk to them too?
Absolutely.
And do you think now they're more accepting of who you are?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And I think that we proceed in kind of go on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Every relationship evolves. But you stayed true to yourself. You're married. You're living happily. You have your happily ever after. I hope that the Arius that was sitting across from me in the Walt Disney Concert Hall about to graduate high school would look at you and be just, I know they would be so proud of who you are and who you're becoming. So
she's gonna make me cry.
Oh no, you're the first person I made cry on the podcast. Oh my gosh.
I just want to tell everybody out there for the LGBT community that you are not alone. You have never been alone.
Yeah. And you'll find the people that do love you and your community. I just want to say thank you again so much, Arius, for coming on and being so vulnerable with me, sharing these depths of your soul. And we haven't seen each other in years. Like, you didn't have to say yes to this or do any of this, but I really hope that someone out there listening or watching this, whether it's they've never met a trans person before and they get to learn something new, whether they have a loved one that is a foster youth or in the LGBTQ community and they just want to find a better way to understand their story, that you were the bridge for them to understand and to know.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so nervous. And
don't be nervous.
And I think that this is beneficial to everybody. And I think that
you can't go wrong if you share the truth.
With her little nails and masking.
My nails do match. That's so funny. You're the best. Well, thank you guys so much for joining this episode of The Future is Foster. If you want to learn more about Arius, click the link below in the bio. If you want to support the podcast so we can keep sharing the many amazing stories within the foster care and adoption system, please click the link below. And most importantly, you are not alone. Reach out to Arius.
You're not alone. Bye.
Bye.